So I've been putting this video off for quite some time. I know a lot of you previously have asked me, how do you gain weight? Like, I'm struggling to gain weight. And me personally, I did too. I struggled with, gaining weight. My metabolism works very fast. And on top of that, running and lifting every day doesn't exactly help. So I knew that there needed to be a change, because my junior year I was at the same weight that I was when I came into college, 165, and I knew that there needed to be a change. So I made that change and started eating a shit ton, and I ended up getting up to 195 pounds. So here is how to gain 30 pounds in a month. Now these right here are the tools, and the only tools that you are going to need on this journey of gains. Now for those of you that like a lot of flavor in your meals, you're probably going to be pretty upset, because what I'm cooking is very basic. We start with chicken, obviously, and pasta. Whatever you do, whatever you want, flavor it with either of these two things, because they're not too bad nutrition wise, but too much is never a good thing. Now if you don't know how to cook pasta, then this might not be the video for you, because that's literally the most basic thing that will be going on in this video. And we will come back to these three things very shortly. Now when it comes to cooking chicken, you can do it your way. Dice it up, makes it easy to eat. Or you can throw it in the oven if you want to eat the whole breast as itself. Do whatever. Like 350 for 30 minutes, should be good to go. Pasta, throw it in the water, let it boil for a minute till it's soft, and strain it. Now when it comes to proportions, I like to have about 1/4 of my plate filled up with chicken and the other 3/4 filled up with pasta. Now this part I can't stress enough. Only put enough on there to where you know it's gonna cover everything. Just barely, with a nice little layer of Alfredo. Pop that thing in the oven right quick. You're good to go. And there you have it. It's perfect. Shit smacks. Oh. Alright. Now here's the only other meal that you need to know about. And yes, I said meal. Alright, now this is where science comes into play a little bit, because you need accuracy and speed when it comes to creating the OG stone pancakes. Now what I'm gonna need everybody to do for me is imagine that this is a big mixing bowl with a bunch of pancake powder in it. And when I said science earlier, I meant that you need to have the right consistency. You don't follow the book on these types of pancakes. You just don't. Because what you need to do is you need to eat them as fast as possible, so you only have one on your plate at a time. And if you're really feeling fancy, throw in a little protein powder. A little extra flair. Now when you're mixing it, you need to check the viscosity always, and if you don't know what viscosity is, I don't know what to tell you. So right now, dripping off pretty easily, relatively liquidy. The reason I'm doing this is because if it's nice and liquidy and I pour it onto this nice flat pan, it's gonna spread out a lot more than a thick batter would. Therefore, it's thinner, and I can eat it faster. Now stick around to the very end, because that is when I'm going to give out my big secret on what the real trick is to gain weight. Of course, this is food, and you gain weight by eating food, but what's the best way to do so? It's almost like eating isn't enough. Have you asked yourself that before? Is eating enough? Now you're gonna wanna get this thing nice and preheated on a medium heat. Check the viscosity once more. Looks good. Now I'll be honest with you. The only three things that you really need here is your mixed pancake stuff, a fork, and that pan, which is hot. Me, I'm classier, so I like to, you know, get it off the pan with a spatula, put it on a plate, and put just a little bit of syrup on it. Now remember, everything in moderation, so I just give it a nice little glaze over the top, just real quick. Spread it out with a fork all over. Nothing residual. It's all soaked into the pancake real nice, and I get taste all over. But you gotta watch my cutting method, because that's serious. So it's cooking right now, getting nice and bubbly on the top. Get those bubbles out, gotta make it as thin as possible. Nice, check me out. Not too much cooking time. Oh. And you don't wanna let it sit like this for too long because it's already cooking on the inside. See, look. Maybe just a little bit more. Get your plate ready. Take this off. Throw it down, grab this again, start making the next pancake, spread it out, make it nice and thin, so it looks like that. Take your syrup, a little razzle frazzle right there, nice little W for Wilson, spread it out. See how there's nothing left? Cut it like that, cut it like this, and if you really want to, you can cut it this way and this way one more time. But this way makes it extremely easy to eat. All done. Next. So difficult doing this with one hand. Ooh, 3-piece? Bet. Voila. And you really just keep doing that over and over and over and over again until you get full. Or until you run out of pancake mix. In that case, if you're still a little bit hungry, we got frosted mini wheats. If you check the box, okay. If you check the box, you'll see how many carbs it has. 51 grams of carbs so it's like 2 grams of carbs per biscuit. Now if you're not too into that, you can hit some bagels. Throw a little bit of peanut butter on them for the protein, and you'll be good to go. Now when it comes to the chicken and pasta, make sure you have a bunch of these. These are gonna be a lifesaver. I have a bunch of them because I make a bunch of food. Now here's one thing I would definitely suggest you not do. I would not suggest this diet if you didn't do anything. I was on this diet when I was working out twice, sometimes 3 times a day. So I could take in all these carbs and all these proteins. Notice there's very little fat in this diet. You got pasta, you got chicken, you got pancakes with a little bit of syrup. There's not much fat to be had. Plus, if there is any fat on my chicken, then I'm cutting it off. Now the big trick, if you are working out at least once a day very hard or twice a day, is not just to eat 3 square meals a day, but my trick for everybody that asks me, hey, how did you gain weight, is I didn't eat when I was hungry, I ate when I wasn't full. As soon as I wasn't full from my last meal, I was right back to the stove cooking some more pancakes, just killing them. I would eat about 8 at a time that were like 8 inches in diameter, but they're also thin, so I can dice it up, eat it up. Now when it comes to snacks, like I said before, you got like mini wheats, you got bagels, that's carbs, straight bread. So if you're hungry after eating, you know, only 3 pancakes, which is what I just did, I would probably pour a bowl, count out how many biscuits I had, and mark the carbs into MyFitnessPal. Now MyFitnessPal is actually going to help you out a lot. It's a free app by Under Armour. And I know I'm not a nutritionist or a kinesiologist, but I do know what worked for me, and if this helps you, then that's just great. I'm so happy I could help you eat or learn how to feed yourself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to include a few videos that I thought were very helpful that went into the nutrition aspect and kind of dove into the science of nutrition down in the description with their link. So I hope this helps you, and I just hope you don't get morbidly obese off of eating chicken, pasta, and pancakes. Make sure you're working out, and peace.